Good evening and welcome into another edition of Crunch Time here on Amateur Sports TV. I am Wags alongside Joe Hamilton. We are going to be talking with Maryville Saints ice hockey captain Jack Harrison tonight. And as you know, you can catch all of the Maryville games here on KYRO 1280 AM, 105.3 FM. Lots of great games coming up here starting January 8th. And Jack, thank you so much for taking the time out tonight to sit down and talk with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, very, very glad to have you. And how are you enjoying the new year so far? It's one day in.
Everything's going well. We got to skate today. So that's a big plus starting the year off. We got a game in a week, so we're getting ready for that.
Yeah, and you guys faced McKendree on January 8th before taking on Lindenwood on a couple of back-to-back games. And full disclosure, I actually go to Lindenwood, but I will not be rooting against you.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll forgive you for that.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey to Maryville hockey, because you're from St. Louis and you had to have grown up loving blues hockey. But talk a little bit about your youth and how you got to Maryville.
So I'm actually from Chesterfield. So I was born in Ferguson, but I moved to Chesterfield at a really young age, and so Maryville's always been like real close to me. I never actually pictured going there. They didn't have hockey when I was a kid, so I ended up playing at Chesterfield before I moved to Afton. I played there when I was in my midget years, and then I also went to CBC, played for them, and then I went up and played juniors in Boston. And so I played that for 2 years, and after that, I ended up choosing Bradley University first. I went there for a semester, didn't really like it my freshman year, and I talked to Hogan, and Hogan's like, "Yeah, come here." I was talking to him in the summer as well, and he said, "Come there." And so ever since then, that was their first year in hockey, which just lined up. The stars lined up perfectly, and I was able to come here, and I'm loving it so far.
So you basically were the inaugural class for Maryville hockey. What is that like to really kind of be at the forefront of building a program and really setting it up for future success?
So it's like unlike anything I've ever been a part of. So I've been a part of teams where they've been founded for so many years, but being a part of that something starting up, it really is like incredible, and you get to see how much you've put in to this team and the program, and see how much it grows. In our third year, we already have 3 teams now. And so I'm interested to see when I'm long gone, 10, 15 years from now, how the teams are still growing in that. And so it's I really think that it's pretty incredible to be a part of.
Hey Jack, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Talk a bit about your the youth programs you were a part of and how they help prepare you for this.
Yeah. So my youth teams, I played for Chesterfield when I was young, and my dad coached me. He was a hockey player his whole life, so he coached me, and I ended up knowing a lot of guys from growing through up. So every rink I went to, I knew a lot of people, and I was skating probably 3 or 4 times a week when I was a kid. And then when I started getting older, I moved to Afton, as we knew more guys there, and that's where a bunch of my CBC classmates were going there as well. They're playing at Afton, so I went there, and I loved Afton. We competed for nationals twice there, so that was a lot of fun. And I think the compete level that we had, even as kids when we were 10, 11 years old, really helped me prepare for the college level, seeing that high level compete, always trying to win the game no matter what.
Did you get a chance to go up, because I'm part of a group called Prepcast, and we go up to Chicago every year for the CSDHL finals. Is that something that you went up there?
I played Afton Central States from my midget years, so I played there, and I played U16 and U18.
Oh, that is awesome. That's great hockey up there. I got a nephew who plays for St. Peter's now. He's 8U, so he's just now getting into the start of all this, which is really, really cool. They're playing, obviously, Chesterfield. They were just out at your guys' rink earlier this week playing in a tournament. So that's it's really cool to see how you guys, at least Maryville, is kind of continuing that hockey tradition out in the Chesterfield area, especially after you guys lost the Chesterfield ice rink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so losing that, we actually never played the ice rink. So my freshman year, we were at Afton. So that was like coming back home for me, because that's where I was most familiar with. I know I started Chesterfield, but Afton I always consider my real home for hockey. And coming to that old barn on Gravois was just coming back there it was unbelievable. And then we got this new rink, and this new rink, it blows a lot of rinks out of the water. It's one of the nicest ones I've ever played in, and it's an unbelievable feeling knowing that it's like our rink and we have so much support in the community around us.
So let's talk a little bit about how the team is going to look this year. You said this is, you got 3 teams now, so now you've got a lot of pool of players to kind of choose from. And not saying a Division II team or a JV team or anything like that, but you have 2 men's teams and now you have a women's team. But talk a little bit about how your team is going to look this year.
So this year we brought in, I want to say 8 freshmen, something like that. We brought in two defensemen, a goalie, and 4 or 5 forwards, something like that. But we're a lot of speed this year. We're a very fast team, just like last year. So we're going to be looking to put up a lot of goals, but also I think we have enough guys able to play defense. And I think our centers and wingers can be defensively responsible, just like our defensemen. So I think we'll be hopefully keeping the puck out of a lot. And I think we'll be scoring a lot of goals too with our speed.
Talk about how the team looks. I mean, what are some of the dynamics of this team? I mean,
I guess speed is our biggest asset. So like you mean like dynamics of our team, our biggest asset is our speed. We're going to be a quick team on the ice. I think fans can expect us to be moving north a lot and getting pucks deep and banging bodies like that, but also be flying down the wing and scoring a lot of goals this year.
So there have been a lot of adjustments because of COVID this year. Talk about some of the adjustments. We talked to Anthony earlier about it, but what were some of the adjustments you had to go through and the biggest thing you took away from it?
So when COVID started in March, it shut down everything, shut down our school. The rinks were all closed. So that really put like a halt. Well, luckily we finished our season right there in that last overtime loss to McKendron playoffs. We finished right there. And then that like next week or so, it shut down. And so that really put a halt on everyone's progress. Guys went home for good. But then around May or something like that, some rinks started opening up and I was able to play like a summer league thing. So I was getting on the ice a couple times a week doing that, which helped not like, I guess, lose my stride for the season. So that it was a big adjustment though. And then we come back, school starting, we were only allowed 6 guys on the ice, something like that. And we had like little sessions like that. So it was a big adjustment. And especially when we did that for like pretty much a whole semester of just adding, like went to 6 and went to 8 or something like that. So, but now we have games coming up in a week and guys are getting used to being on the ice together again. So it's an adjustment right now, but I think everyone's chomping at the bit, ready to go.
We talked to Anthony about this because he grew up in Canada and grew up with the leagues that are up there. But some of those leagues are banning checking from the youth sports at that point. Do you see that as being something that could be detrimental to a young kid growing up playing hockey, or will it actually help them focus on some skills?
I could definitely see it being, because at younger ages, there's kids that are obviously different sizes. There's the kids that are way bigger. So for those that smaller ages, then they don't hit anyways. I think when you're in America, you can't hit till you're a Bantam in any of those leagues. So I personally think that they should be hit whenever they started playing hockey. You can do that in Canada, something like that. But I think it's definitely going to hurt some kids in the long run, because they're going to be looking to try and make high skill plays in like a higher level, and they're just going to get hit hard by someone because they're used to doing that at a younger age. So I think it's definitely going to maybe build some bad habits that are hard to get rid of.
I'm going to put you on the spot now, Jack.
No problem.
Some superlatives. We did this with Anthony earlier. All right. Who is the fastest skater on the team?
I would probably go Damian Karinji, number 12.
Best celebration?
Who has the best celebration? I would go. I like Brad Boudreau. Whenever he scores, I just get really excited. I like watching him.
Weirdest superstition? Are there any weird superstitions that?
There's not. There's not horrible like weird ones. Like, but the one that like really sticks out to me is TJ Prexler. We do our team warm up before the games, and then he'll go and do his own thing, and he comes back and he's just drenched in sweat, and and he gets ready like 10 minutes before we go on the ice for warm-ups. But he's always out there, but he comes back and he's just drenched in sweat.
So do you know what he does during that?
No, I always say, I'll teach you. I'm going with you next time, but then he always vanishes, and so.
That is awesome. That is awesome. What about yourself? Do you have anything? I mean, like you said, nothing super weird, but do you have a ritual that you go through before every game?
Usually right before I get in the locker room, I'll send like my last text to someone, and then I usually put my phone, and we have this little box we put our phones in. Guys, if they're not listening to music or anything, I personally don't listen to music. So, but nothing like I have to stick to every game. Like a lot of guys tape their stick before every game. I'm not horribly worried about that. A lot of guys will do certain things, but I guess I don't really have many superstitions.
What should fans look forward to this year?
So the fans that will be able to catch either on the radio or watching on YouTube for our live streams, I think that they'll be able to look forward to fast-paced hockey. I think we're a fast team, like I said many times, but also we're a team that's not afraid to get physical. I think fans can expect us to be going into corners, battling hard, not shying away from hits, really playing like a gritty, hard-nosed game, but also being able to have those high skill plays like TJ Prexler, Damien Caringi got a lot of skill. So those more skillful guys are going to put in a lot of goals for us. So we're hoping to kind of counteract with our physicality and our speed. Hope fans will enjoy that this year.
That sounds great. And one final thing before we get out of here, this is more of a personal question for you. What was it like being named captain of the team this year?
So I found out right when COVID started, like about April or March. John sent an email to our team. He's like, I'm announcing Jack as a captain, and announced Brad Boudreau as an assistant. And so when I heard that, I immediately got excited, but I also got a little nervous because I was taking over after Aaron Romeril, who was a captain for my first year, and we were just a Division II team. And then last year when we both moved up to Division I, when we got that team, but since he did such a stellar job and he really showed what it was like to be a captain and to be a Maryville hockey player. So taking over after him is a big step, but I am excited for it. And it's always been a dream of mine to be a college hockey player. And especially now, something I never dreamed of was be a college hockey player captain. So that's really something that I'm looking forward to. And I hope I can do half as good as job as Romer, because he did a phenomenal job, and he was a great captain and showed really what it's like to lead a team.
As always, hockey players are the best, most down-to-earth, most blue-collar guys that I've ever come across, and that's why I absolutely love hockey. Jack, thank you so much for taking your time out on New Year's Day to sit down and talk with us, and best of luck this season.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Awesome. We appreciate it. We'll hopefully talk a little bit later during the year, maybe talking championship.
Yeah, that's the goal this year, so
let's go.
Awesome. Well, Jack, thank you again, and have a great rest of your night.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.